everybody, my name is Elizabeth and welcome back to my channel. Well, a little update on my broken leg. I am doing a lot better. I am out of the boot and I have moved on to a lace-up ankle brace. It's more to stabilize my ankle from rolling or anything because it's pretty weak right now after not having walked for 4 months. But yeah, I have my last, well, maybe not last, but I have my next checkup with the surgeon in 4 days, and we'll see if the bones are healed. But anyway, today, hopefully, fingers crossed everybody, that this is my last at-home vlog, and then I'll be able to get back into posting a little more regularly and going out and doing stuff again. But I have one more, crafty thing that I decided to do while I was stuck here at home, and I figured I'd show you guys. So let's do this together. All right, so today I'm gonna attempt to make candles. So I ordered this kit from Amazon, and hopefully it's pretty self-explanatory, but you'll get to see me whether I succeed or fail. Okay, so here is the kit that came. It's they're soy based, so supposedly a little bit better for you when you burn them. So let me go ahead and set up the camera here and open it up. And I know what's in it because I ordered it from Amazon. They tell you what's in it, but I haven't actually looked at it yet. So let's look at it together. All right, instructions. Pretty basic instructions, nothing too long or too much to read. Okay, so it comes with some labels if you wanted to label them or even give them as gifts, because there's one that says best wishes and thank you and stuff like that. Yeah, so then there's some more labels to wrap around the jars. Oh, they're the dies. So they provide you with coloring in case you want to color your candles. I prefer not to use dyes and stuff like that. So I probably will not be using these, but yeah, they give you a bunch of them. Let's see. They give you 10 different colors of dye, so not bad. All right. Candle wicks. I'm assuming this is for the fragrance. It's like a little pipette. Couple pipettes. Oh, some dried flowers and stuff if you wanted to add them to the candle. Now, I read a review online that said that once you got down to the bottom of the candle, after you're burning it, and you just have all this dried stuff left, it's like a fire hazard. So I might not be putting these in here. I'm not even sure. They're not labeled, so I don't know what these are. They smell nice though, but I have other fragrances in here that I will be using. So okay, let's see. So they give you a bunch of little jars to make the candles in. I think 7 total. So these aren't huge jars. I was expecting them to be a little bigger, but they're pretty small, which is fine. And then so they have 3 of these little metal canisters. It also came with 4 of these little glass jars in different colors. So you got a white one, a pink one, a yellow one, and a blue one. Now I did see some of the other varieties that I saw on Amazon through the same company were specifically around the coloring of the jars. You could get one that was all black jars. So if you didn't want, pastel colors and you just wanted them to be a little more neutral, you could get one with all black. But I decided to go with colorful ones. All right, so we also have a digital thermometer for when I'm melting the wax, I'm assuming. And there's this thing for actually melting the wax in, so that way I don't have to mess up one of my pots, which is good. Although I did read that soy wax does just like wash out. You can just like wash it out with like soap and water. So that's good to know. But yeah, that'll be nice that I don't have to get one of my dishes all messed up. So it also came with 7 different essential oils to add fragrance to the candles. So I have sandalwood, jasmine, rose, cinnamon, lavender, vanilla, and apple. So yeah, not a pretty good variety. I do wish there was something a little more citrusy, like lemon or orange or something like that, but these are just fine. And you could always like, I don't have any essential oils in my house at the moment. Sometimes I do keep them around, but I'm gonna blame my broken leg. I just have not restocked on my essential oils, so this is what we're gonna be limited to today, is what came in the package. And then last is the wax. And it actually comes with 7 separate packets, so that way you don't have to measure. So there are 7 of these in here to make seven candles. Okay, so I'm going to read the instructions and then we will actually get started in making the candles. One thing I'm already a little disappointed in before starting is that they give you labels, which is cool, and they're kind of pretty, you know, they're very designed and they look nice. But they're assuming that I only want to use 1 fragrance per candle. And, you know, because they're like rose, vanilla, and so you can label them if, you know, with whatever essential oil you use for that candle. But, I mean, I'm not going to use apple without also putting some cinnamon in there. So I'm a little, you know, disappointed that there's not some maybe blank ones that I could write my own descriptions on. But yeah, that's my only complaint right now. Anyway, let's move to the kitchen and start making some candles. Okay, I decided before we go to the kitchen that I'm gonna get the jars set up with the wicks in them. That way I don't have to stop, you know, and add that after I get the wax melted. So let's do that. Oh, they even give you like warnings to stick on your candles, like about, you know, not leaving it burning unattended and trimming the wick and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. They give you little stickers so that they'll stick to the bottom, like the center of the jar. Probably not really in the center, but close enough. I don't think I'm doing a great job at getting these in the very center, but it's fine. It's fine. All right, so here are the 7 jars that are ready to have wax in them. They've got their wicks and they're ready to go. Now they did give me extra wicks, and they did say that there might be leftover wax after I finished filling each candle. They said, you know, you can make like a little tea light or something. I don't have any tea light jars. I was trying to think if I had like another jar to put it all in and to make another candle, but then I started thinking, what is it going to smell like to mix all 7 of those together into one candle? And I don't know. Maybe it would smell fine. Maybe I just need to experiment. But I'll see if I can think of another jar that I can add all the leftovers to, so I don't waste it and I can have 1 extra. But we'll see. I'll see if I can think of something. But anyway, I think we're ready to start melting the wax. So let's go to the kitchen. Okay, so it said to use a double boiler, which, for those of you who don't know, means water in a pot, and then you put the other pot in that, and that's how it heats. So it's not directly on the heat. The other thing it said was to heat the jars so they're a little warm when you pour the wax into them. It said it will prevent them from like the wax from like shrinking away from the outside of the jar. So I think once the wax is melted, I will stick the jar in here for, you know, a minute or so just to get it heated. And that should solve that problem. So let's see how this works. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like. So this is what the wax looks like before it's melted. So let's see if I can, maybe I'll pour it in there first. All right. Okay. So wax is in. Yeah, it's still floating a little bit. Maybe I put too much water in there, but all right. I will let this melt and I will bring you guys back when it's made some progress. Okay, so we're partway there. You see it is melting. But I've got a little ways to go here, so. Okay, so supposed to heat it to 185, and as you can see, we are just about there. Let's see if it'll actually get up to one. It's been hovering around 175 for way too long, so now. Come on, 0.6 more there. Oh. Come on, you can do it. There we go. All right. So I'm going to turn the burner off. I did realize that the handle is there to keep it from like resting on the bottom and to keep it from floating around. So, yep. That needs to cool for a bit. And while that's cooling, I brought over one of the jars and I'm going to put it in just for a bit, just to heat it, like I mentioned before. Don't want to get any water in it, but, you know, get it a little warm here. All right. Gave me a temperature, but I don't know. I'm not going to try to take the temperature of my little jar. So, all right, let's move back over to the table. Okay, so the wax is here. It's cooling down because I need to let it cool down to like 135 before I can put it into the jar. But I can add the fragrance right now. And now is also when I would add the coloring. If I were using coloring, it would be now. But I am not using coloring. So let me get out the oils. I think I'm going to try to mix them because, for example, vanilla, I'm not someone that's going to buy a candle that's just like scented vanilla. Like I want it to be with something. So I did a little research and found some like mixes and stuff that incorporate the scents that I have. So I think I'm going to try to use those to sort of mix them up as much as possible, specifically the vanilla, because the vanilla is the one that I don't think I'm going to enjoy by itself. So we're going to see if we can incorporate the vanilla in with some of the other scents. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so the first scent combination I found is real simple. It's just vanilla rose. So I figured I'm using the pink candle, so that's perfect. So I'm going to use most of the rose and then a little bit of the vanilla. And I have the waxes right here cooling down. Okay, so I've got the rose, I've got my pipette, And so the instructions basically say that one of these candles will take all of this fragrance. This is a 3-ounce bottle, or no, sorry, not 3 ounces, 0.3 ounces. And so because I'm mixing them, I just need to try to use approximately one full bottle's worth. So the pipettes do have numbers on them, so you can know how much, so you can measure, but it is very hard to read. So anyway. It did say don't continue like cooking. You need to take the wax off the heat before you add the fragrances. Otherwise, the fragrances will just like evaporate and you won't smell them. So, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to save the rest of the rose for another scent that calls for rose. So let's put the lid back on so I don't spill that everywhere. And then we're going to use maybe a quarter of this. Now it did come with 3 different pipettes, so if you're worried about like contaminating the smells or whatever, you can definitely use different ones. I'm not that concerned about that. All right, so this is the vanilla. So there we go. All right, so fragrance is in. Let me stir the wax so that the fragrance is all distributed. It smells good. Okay, oh, it came with this little spoon. I don't remember if I showed you guys that, but I used it to stir the wax while it was melting, and then it's helpful to, stir in the scent and, the dye. If I was using the dye, it would be helpful for that too. That way I don't have to use a spatula or something. Okay, we are at 133.8, so time to add the wax into the candle. All right, let me see if I can tilt you to a better angle here. Okay. Wax, candle. Yep. And there is going to be a little bit left over, and I did think of a way to to fix that, kind of. So I am going to pour the leftover wax into here, and we're just going to mix them all. This is one of the jars it came with. I found a jar that not a jar, but I'll show you. In my next candle, I'll show you. I am going to try to see if I can get 8 candles out of this instead of just 7. So we'll see. All right. So this is the thing that is going to hold the wick in the center and keep it straight. Maybe it's supposed to go this way. Let's try this way. Okay. There we go. All right, let me get you a closer look here. Okay, so this is, there we go. This, I think I'm doing this right now. So it's supposed to hold the wick in the center while it dries. So it looks like they have, so if you wanted to do 3 wicks and 1 candle, it's got spaces for that. But I'm just going to use the one in the middle, and I apologize, it's not focusing. There we go. But you see, if I pushed it into that little notch, and that will hold it perfectly straight until the wax is dry. And it does say for best results to let it harden overnight. I'm not sure how long it will take before it's solid enough that I don't have to worry about the wick anymore. Because I was hoping to make all 7 or maybe 8 candles tonight. So we'll see. But I'm going to move on and start melting wax for the next candle. Okay, I'm going to try to do 2 candles at once. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I think I'm going to start melting one package, and then once it's mostly melted, I'll add the second one to kind of help speed, I'll probably slowly add the second one to kind of help speed the melting process. And the reason is because I mentioned the cinnamon and apple scents. I'm going to combine those. Like, I'm not going to have apple without cinnamon. So I'm going to make, I think, one big candle with maybe a little bit left over for my mashup candle. But I'm going to use two packages just to see how much it does. Because each fragrance is going to, is for one full candle, I need to use 2 packs, to mix those 2 fragrances. So that's what I'm going to do now. I think the rest of these candles are going to go quicker because the pot is already kind of hot, and because the water is already hot, it's already started melting. So that's wonderful. Okay, there's still some like chunks in there, but I'm going to go ahead and add the second package because it is melting so quickly. I think I'm okay to add it now. Okay, so this is up to temperature, so I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. I am going to turn this off. Now, let me show you what I found as my other candle holder. So I have way too many mugs, like I'm pretty sure everybody does. And I can't remember the last time I drank anything out of this one, even though it's super cute. But I was thinking, like, apple and cinnamon to me is very, like, holiday, winter time. And so I thought, what if I turn this into a candle? And it is bigger than the other one, so I think it might hold most of that wax. And then whatever doesn't, fit in there can go into one of the other containers. But anyway, let me go ahead and heat that like I'm supposed to. I should be wearing a glove, but whatever. All right. Okay, let's go over to the table. Okay. So I'm going to use the entire 0.3 ounces of cinnamon and the entire 0.3 ounces of apple. So I don't even need to bother with the pipette because I'm just going to dump the whole bottle in. Okay. Okay. So that took longer to cool down than the other one because it's twice as much. So, it was great that it didn't, take that much longer to heat up, but yeah, cooling it back down took several minutes. So, but we're ready. We're ready to pour it into the mug. Okay. Let me readjust you so you can watch. All right, so there's the mug. Let's see how much this fills up and how much left over I have. Okay. Yeah, so there's some left in there. Let's see. Here's my one that's my Frankenstein candle. So that probably filled up about a quarter, maybe a third of that. All right, so I guess kind of like 2.5 candles done-ish. Maybe 3, I guess. 3 packets of the wax have been used, so I guess I should say 3. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. But first, this is kind of what it looks like. The wax just naturally has a bit of a, yellowish color. I did not put this thing on. Wonder if it'll fit. One moment. The answer is no, it did not fit. So it actually fell halfway into the mug. So I'll just have to hope that the wick stays pretty straight and doesn't, drift off to the side. I'll probably try to maybe to pull it up a little bit and straighten it out before I let it cool anymore. So anyway, let me do that and then we'll go on to the next candle. Okay, so candle numbers are messed up at the moment because I did that bigger one, but this was the 4th pack of wax, so I have 3 more to go. I'm going to use up the last of the rose. And then the recipe I saw actually called for a little cinnamon, but I used all my cinnamon, so but it also called for lavender and then a little vanilla. So I'm going to add those. All right, so this is the lavender. And then a little vanilla. Not bad. Here's the thing with these scents is that I'm not really a florally person when it comes to like fragrances. And so they're not ones I gravitate toward, but that's a lot of the ones that I was provided with. So the rose and vanilla one I actually like a lot. The cinnamon apple one, of course, is going to be wonderful. And then hopefully when I start using the sandalwood, I'll like that better. But yeah, this one that's just two floral notes and a sweet vanilla is probably not going to be my favorite of the candles, but that's okay. Maybe I'll give it away as a gift to someone who likes flowery scents. All right, it's cooled off, so let me fill up. I'm going to use one of the little metal jars this time. And the rest I'm putting into my Frankenstein candle. All right. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. I probably will not record me doing the wax because you've seen me do that a couple times. So I'll be back and we'll add the scents together. Okay, so I don't remember what I said in my last clip. That was the 5th bag of wax. It is only my 4th candle since I made the big one. Well, I guess it would be 5 if you count my Frankenstein candle that has all the leftovers. But yeah, so we'll see how much. I might have one of the original containers left over, but that's okay. I like my mug. So for this one, for the scents, I'm going to start with this, with some sandalwood ones. So let's see. Yeah, this one is just going to be some vanilla and sandalwood. The recipe I found did have another scent in it, but it's not a scent that I have. And I just kind of thought, well, let's try it without that one. So I might regret it, but hopefully not. All right, so this is the vanilla. And I'm going to do about half the bottle of sandalwood. Ah. Yeah, I like that one. At least I like the sandalwood. Let me mix it up and see if I like the smell of it with the vanilla. Oh yeah, I'm gonna like that one a lot. So far I've liked them all except for that last one. And the last one wasn't bad. It's just too florally for my preference. So I took the temperature of this. I actually added the scents a little later than I normally do, but it is ready to be poured in right away. So. And there's some left over, so it's going into my Frankenstein candle. if they did have blank labels for me to label my candles, I would absolutely label that one the Frankenstein candle. All right. All right, so that is candle number 4 plus a Frankenstein. Let me melt the wax for the next one. Okay, so second to last candle. I'm going to use the rest of the sandalwood and then a little bit of each of the other scents that I have left, which is lavender, jasmine, and vanilla. Yeah, I like that one too. And the rest goes into the Frankenstein candle. All right, last candle. I'm just going to put in the rest of the scents that I have left over. So I have a little vanilla, some lavender, and a lot of jasmine. So it's going to be mostly jasmine, and then with, you know, second note will be lavender, and then a little bit of vanilla. So I don't know what this is going to smell like. This is one of the recipes that I found. So it's not like I'm just throwing leftovers in here. But I haven't been measuring too well, so we'll see how well this smells after it's all mixed together. Okay, so that was the jasmine. This is the lavender. And the vanilla. Just a little vanilla left, which isn't that surprising since it's been in almost all of the all the candles. I'm actually surprised I made it stretch as much as I did. Okay. Stirred. Oh, I like that. Now, because I did decide to use that mug, I am not using all the containers provided. I am not going to use one of the glass jars, mostly because they're so narrow. I feel like it's going to be hard to light once it gets low, so I decided not to use one of those. So I'm going to use one of the other little shorter metal ones. And a little left, that's going into the Frankenstein candle. Okay, so they are all finished. I haven't put labels on. I'm kind of like, I guess, since I keep talking about Frankenstein, I'm kind of Frankensteining them together. Like this one is a mix of 2 of the stickers, and then some of them I just like wrote the words on with my terrible handwriting. Some of them are still drying, and I'm supposed to let all of them sit overnight before I, burn them or put the lids on or anything like that. So I'm going to let them sit, and then I'll show you the finished project tomorrow. Okay, well, it is the next day. I finished making the candles, and they have been sitting overnight. So I am going to put the labels on them and trim the wicks, and then yeah, we'll kind of take a look and see what they look like when they're all finished. So I had this already. It's a wick trimmer. I do burn candles, and so I have a wick trimmer, and also have a snuffer and a little thing that you use to like get the wick out of the wax if it falls in. I don't know what it's called, but yeah. So I already had this. It did not come with the kit, but you're supposed to cut it to like 1/4 inch. Close enough. This is my Frankenstein candle. It didn't come out as smooth on the top, I think because I kept pouring stuff into it. But it might be the best smelling candle, which I'm surprised at. But I guess maybe, mixing all the scents was fine. But yeah, I actually really like that one. I do not have a label for it, so I'll just know that the plain black one is the Frankenstein. The last one is my mug, and I'm not going to put a label on that one because I don't want to mess up the mug, because I might use it for another candle or something later, and I don't want it to have a label on it. Yeah, so, or cover up the snowman, honestly. So, all right, so here are my completed candles. I did wonder if maybe I should not put labels on them and then try to reuse the jars. But I think if I decide to keep making candles myself, I might try to get larger jars. This was a good way to learn. But I think I might want to do larger ones. And if I do that, I might try to find some like changeable labels or something, where I can change the labels as I reuse the jars. So well, I really enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to, and it was easier than I thought it was going to be. I liked this kit because it provided everything I needed, and now I have this stuff, so if I want to keep making candles, I already have, the pot to melt it in and stuff like that. I just need to go to like a crafting store and get some more wax and things like that. But yeah, I actually enjoyed it, and I do enjoy burning candles, so these will all get used. Now, I do want to mention to those of you who have found this video because you were searching for candle making. First of all, welcome to my channel. I'm glad you're here. But I should warn you, I am not a crafting channel. So if that's what you're hoping for, I'm sorry that this is not what I do normally. But I hope you stick around because I do a lot of fun stuff, and I take you out and do some great stuff. So I'm just at the moment recovering from a broken leg, which is why I'm kind of trying to do stuff here at home. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and a subscribe, and follow me over on Instagram at Lead the Life Vlog, where you'll see what I'm doing in more real time. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.